Maybe after 3 weeks, I'm like, hey, actually you want me or not?
Hey, you were alive or not?
Hi, I'm Sammy.
I'm Xavier.
I'm Gerald.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is
ZULA ChickChats.
So today we're going to be talking about whether girls are too emotionally attached in relationships. So first of all, let's start off with what emotionally attached means to you guys.
I feel like emotionally attached is when you are too like needy or too clingy. As in like both sides lah.
It's like you're too dependent on someone, so you need to wait for them to call you and stuff like that.
I don't agree because I think being emotionally attached is something that every normal couple should have.
Okay.
Like you could be overly emotionally attached, that's like one negative extreme, and then you could be securely attached.
So what then is like overly emotionally attached?
Let's say the person just overly like harass you, like to your own personal space.
Okay,
Like you know when you're trying to do your own thing and they are always like there to ask you stuff like how's your day, what are you doing? A bit-
Wow.
That's like
No, I feel like the questions you saying is like very caring and concerned kind of. It's like, how's your day? And they're like, hey, can you stop being so emotionally attached?
No, the thing is when they ask you, right, it's like you already tell them, like, okay, I'm actually doing this right now. Then
Yeah.
like, so how do you feel? Like they're just too much, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe your girlfriend, she just like wants to know what you're doing in your life so that like she doesn't have to like worry about it or be insecure about it.
But I feel like there's no definition of overly emotionally attached.
I think it
because
depends on
like,
each person, right?
yeah, it's because like if the couple are both super emotionally attached, then they sort of like just fit very well,
Yeah,
right?
for me, right? It's like if you need to like, call me every day, you call me when I'm damn tired. No, it's like you know you're freaking tired already, right? Then you just want to like, I just want to sleep and like rest. And then the person's like, can you call me? I want to talk to you for like 2 hours. I'll be like, I can't.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I think we made it quite clear that being emotionally attached is an alright thing in a relationship. It's just when it becomes like unhealthy, then you know it's not a good thing. Now we have defined what emotional attachment is. For you guys, are you very emotionally attached people in your personal relationships?
I would say that I am not until I am.
Say
What does that
what?
mean?
Wait, let me explain.
Okay,
Okay, in my relationship now, like both of us are working.
Yeah.
So like during the week, then we are both quite busy for work. Sometimes I need to OT. For me, then suddenly when it gets to Friday, then I was like, hey wait, we're going out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Then I sort of like expect for her to like already set aside time for me.
Same as me. This is because guys, right, are just more practical. So when we are busy, right, we just want to stick to our own schedule, do our own things. But during the weekends, when we know that we can have the quality time, we tend to be more emotionally attached because like we want to recover back the lost time that we, that we have lost. So that's the reason why like we go from not emotionally attached to emotionally attached like very quickly.
Being emotionally attached, right? It doesn't occur in like let's say weekends, then I start to think about my boyfriend. Like during the week also, like when I go about my day, right, then I feel stressed out or like I just need some support, like emotional support. So I'll just like talk to my boyfriend.
Like, are you like those kind of like damn needy, like you need
Yeah.
like your partner to be there like 24/7 for you, or you're more like independent as like a person?
I actually don't really need them to be there 24/7. Like I can handle most of my life alone. Just that when only when she mentioned like sometimes when you feel stressed, that's only when I need. Other than that, on my day-to-day basis, I'm fine alone. Yeah.
I think it depends on my partner whether I'm very emotionally attached or not. Yeah. So because like last time like my ex-boyfriend, right, like we can very independent because we just are like that. Yeah, but if I feel like my partner is more emotionally attached, I can give the person the support. You know what I mean? Have you guys been in any situation where you guys were like too emotionally attached or your partner was too emotionally attached? Then it caused some like tension between you guys?
In my previous relationship, right, I was like the more emotionally attached person.
Wow.
My ex-girlfriend is like stone cold. She's not the emotionally attached kind, but I am. So I always like text her and like be like the needy boyfriend. Then she's always like, hey, you don't have to like keep text me to like know how am I. Then it got to a point whereby we actually quarreled a few times because of this. Like because she feels that she needs her own personal space. After eventually we broke up lah, just couldn't agree on this, and that kind of made me realize personal space is super important.
I also have actually personal experience. Like I was also the more emotionally attached one in my past relationship. It wouldn't be like I would text the person very often. It was more like whenever we're not together, I will feel like a bit insecure.
Actually very funny because I just thought about it, right? Like last time my relationship I super not emotionally attached one. Then it's like
So are you are
no, now I freaking emotionally attached. That's nonsense. Like, I don't understand. Like okay, so I think it highly depends on your partner, right? Like what you mentioned. But also because like last time my ex, right, like we can like 2 weeks, 3 weeks don't meet each other one. And I'm okay. Yeah, no, I'm like legit okay one. Then, okay, maybe after 3 weeks I'm like hey, actually you want me or not?
Hey, you were alive or not?
Like,
Your last scene 3 weeks ago.
Huh?
Like, how can you guys
Yeah.
be so
I think it's just
okay
busy. Like I really that busy. Then
Oh my
because
God.
I'm those kind like maybe it's because my feeling like like 那么多 like not like so strong or whatever. It's like so I okay. But now it's like oh my god, you better meet me this weekend, if not you're gonna die. That kind of thing. So there's this stereotype that girls are more emotional than guys in general lah.
I feel that right now, right, actually guys are more emotionally attached than girls already. Girls are more independent now. So it's like last time they are like, hey, I need a husband early or something. The trend has changed. Yeah, it's okay for girls to not be the traditional stay home kind of girlfriend or wife now.
Like I think that girls in general tend to be more emotionally expressive rather than more emotional. Yeah, you know what I mean?
True.
So like even though I feel like guys are also they have a capacity to be like very emotional, right? But they tend to like keep in the emotions.
The reason why this stereotype comes about is like what Sandy said is true lah. Like girls express their emotions more. Do you think that you express emotions less than your girlfriend?
I don't notice that.
Help! Hey, your girlfriend are jialat eh. Oh my god. Why you do like that?
Oh my god.
As in, okay, but are you the kind to like express your emotions
Yeah, I
to
guess
your
so.
girlfriend?
Yeah.
You?
When I have
Xavier?
that smile.
You
I
will?
do,
Okay.
yeah.
No, cause I would say like my boyfriend is not that kind. Yeah, he's like those kind that he will like just keep to himself one. Like he won't say out the things. Then if I say anything right, he's like, don't like that. But I know actually his actions mean otherwise.
Yeah.
So do you think being too emotionally attached then is a deal breaker in a relationship?
I would think that actually it's if you are too emotionally attached, then it would be because like it's just a mismatch.
Yeah.
Like also like what we've been saying earlier. So.
It will be a deal breaker if say you haven't gotten into the relationship with the person yet.
Yeah.
Then you find out that oh this person is like wow like quite high maintenance, need to like always look out for her needs, that kind of thing. And like let's say you're already in a relationship with someone and like maybe previously she wasn't or he or she wasn't very emotionally attached, right? Then it was only because of things that happened to him or her that made them like that lah. Then I feel like you could be more understanding and like try to offer your support.
Yeah, then I think that like the deal breaker thing, right? I feel that when you date the person, you kind of know what kind of person they are. And if the person hide their true color, right, then wow, this one is like I love you will say already, the must like review at the end. Like what I mentioned earlier, you know, sometimes being too emotionally attached becomes controlling. When is it like the point where the person is too controlling rather than being emotionally attached?
I guess when the girlfriend or boyfriend becomes too obsessive about knowing the whereabouts of his or her partner.
When it becomes too controlling, right, I feel that it's the point where they demand you to do things like to suit their emotional needs.
Yeah.
Right? So like what we said, borderlining personal space. But not only that, it's more of like when they want you to conform to all their beliefs also. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, they will use it to like manipulate you in that sense.
Yeah.
They will say like, you know I don't like this, right? Why you want to do this anyway?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't like this, so you cannot do it.
Yeah.
For example, you want to join this particular sport. You say, I don't like this sport because of blah 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 reason, so you cannot do it. Then that's already like not emotional attachment. That is like being crazy already. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have a life.
Yeah.
Your life is led by the choices of your partner.
Previously, my friend, right, he's actually super like overly attached kind.
Oh my god.
Then they reach a point whereby they broke up obviously because he just restrict his girlfriend's everything that she does. Like she can't follow certain guys or like she on Instagram or like she can't meet her friends or whatever. So it's like you mentioned, it's like really limit your life choice based on your partner's beliefs.
I'm like noticed like some of my friends' relationships like it's reached a point where they give up like their dreams and their passion for their partner. And that is something that I cannot agree with lah.
I wouldn't mind giving up a dream.
Okay.
If like practicality wise, right?
Oh.
I need to like save for BQ. Or
Okay, that one
Maybe a proper
definitely.
job, then
I
like-
understand. So finally, the question would be how to manage this emotional attachment in any relationship. What is some advice you can give?
The couple, right, they have to have trust in each other first. So that with that trust, right, they will not have that insecurities. And with that, they will be able to work out a relationship whereby they can help each other to grow instead of pulling one down, saying like, hey, don't do this because I don't like you, like you mentioned just now. Then that will be healthy. So if both of them are able to trust each other, to work out a life together, then probably the relationship will be a happy ending lah.
My point is very simple. If your partner is not on the same level as you, just break up with the person.
Oh.
No, like really like okay, if you are the kind that you know you demand a certain level from your partner, right? make sure that it's clear at the beginning. If the partner doesn't want to compromise or like, you know, change his behavior to adapt to that, right? Then obviously you're not a good match, right? Because this is confirmed going to be a problem, like you mentioned, and then you're going to end up like being sad and upset and using this as like blackmail against the person. It's like, you will never spend time with me, blah, 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 all this kind of thing. No, I want to say, guys, don't be scared to express your emotions. Because I think this is a problem that will kill a lot of relationships.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, guys cannot have that ego. So like, if you got an ego, right, to not express yourself, right, then no clear communication, then sure die.
I think you have to set your black and white of like what do you think is reasonable and unreasonable first. And then after you have like sort of like clear understanding of yourself and what you expect of your partner, then get advice from your friends, because you definitely need like a third party opinion. For example, like my actions might be really quite unreasonable. So then from there, then you have to re-evaluate again. Like whether you want to accept the advice or not lah. And then once you have this like finally set aside like what you know, and then you present these expectations to your partner.
I feel like you just gave a PowerPoint presentation on how to save your relationship.
So today we talked about being emotionally attached in a relationship, and we concluded that
you and your partner need to have mutual expectations in the relationship.
So if you guys have any personal stories to share about your own relationships, feel free to leave it in the comments down below, and also let us know what else to talk about next time. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye!